You probably know Author Peter H. Reynolds for his distinctive children's books, which he writes and illustrates. They've been translated into over 25 languages and are celebrated worldwide. Now, his new book is When You Dream Big, showing kids that the only limit is your imagination. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good. I am doing very well. Great to be connected with you and sharing another book. I've been on a roll lately. This one is, I think, one of my favorite books I've done. So super excited. Just came out this week. So
Looking forward to
excited
it.
to share it.
Yeah. So, Peter, your work has explored themes that deal with issues that are importance of young kids, like individuality, resilience, human connection, to name a few. What coping lessons will young readers discover in When You Dream Big?
Yeah, my books are, I sort of refer them to as handbooks for amazing humans, right? They're little tips on how to be an amazing human being, how to be a great listener, how to be connected with your family. This one is uh, talking about dreaming big, which definitely that's a big message in this book is, permission granted. Dream as big as you'd like. You can use your imagination. But, if that seems like a tall order, the other message in this book is it's okay not to know, right? It's okay not to have the destination locked in, but it really is the quality of the journey, right? Not the destination. And if you're struggling, if you feel frozen in your tracks, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's okay. It's okay. And fortunately, we have amazing human beings around us who love us, right? Our family, our friends, and also our teachers. And this book is also a celebration of great teaching. Miss Raina is the character. She is Charlie's teacher, and she is an amazing teacher. She is trying to encourage her kids to dream big, but she also notices that Charlie is struggling a little bit with that question. And she actually says to Charlie, don't worry, you take your time because that actually is a very, very big question.
Now, Peter, would this book have been helpful to you as you navigated your childhood?
Um, it would have been. I think it would have been nice to. Um, uh, I think my instincts were, uh, do what you love and love what you do. And I love to draw and write. And I was making comic books, and I have my own greeting card company in fourth grade. Um, I think this would have actually been helpful for my teachers. I wish my teachers had had this book because I think it would have encouraged them to allow us to explore that big question, which is, who are you? Where are you going? Where would you like to be going? Which, that's that is the big question, right? In life, it's like, what is ahead? Well, the only person that really knows is you. We're here to cheer you on. And that is the role of great teaching and great parents and grandparents is, books like this are great tools to encourage our kids, right? To tell us, who are they? And that is one of uh, my hopes is that at the end of this book, when you're reading it to a young person, you turn to them and say, you know, what do you imagine the future to be? And there are lots of ways to ask that question. What do you want to be when you grow up? But there's also where would you like to live? Where would what adventure would you like to go on? Who would you like to meet? There's so many questions to get kids thinking about their future. So I hope this book inspires lots of creative thinking. And while you're having that conversation with kids, you can also have it with yourself because, as you know, we're all works in progress. We're all growing up, and uh, none of us have stopped learning. Every day, right, is another chance to kind of get it right and to learn something new.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Now, your stories often encourage self-expression and courage, which deeply resonates with educators and families. Have you heard any reactions or stories from readers about how When You Dream Big has impacted them?
Yeah, already hearing great stories from teachers, school counselors have been saying, wow, what a great tool. I'm going to be using this with more and more of my classes to get them to open up and share um, what they're dreaming of, also what they're struggling with, right? Tell us what you're struggling with. Sometimes kids, they bottle it up, and that is not a good thing to bottle it up. And that's one of the big messages in here is to uh, to share what is going on inside your head, right, in your heart. And so, yeah, great reactions already. The book is just out now, so we got some early copies out to educators, and the response has been really, really heartwarming.
Now, the phrase dream big gets used a lot, but your interpretation feels deeply personal. What do you hope young readers and maybe even adults take away from this book's message about dreaming big?
Um, well, I think that the default is, a career. What are you going to be when you grow up? And certainly you can dream big there, but dreaming big also means to live a big life and to think outside of your box. I think some of us get, we kind of we build these little boxes that we live in, and one day looks a lot like the next day, and one year looks a lot like the last year. And I want people to be creative about how they see their future, and that you can, by the way, dreaming is free. No charge, right? No charge to dream big. And um you know as often as we can, take time out to think about, what would that better future for yourself look like? And it might be something simple like, do you know what? I just need to have more live plants in my house, or, to make my garden more beautiful so that when I walk outside in the morning, I see flowers, I see color. There are little things that we can do that can make our futures better. So I hope this book plants some seeds in my readers' world.
Definitely. Now, looking ahead, what's next for you? Are there any new projects or dreams you're excited to share?
Well, I love that question. Well, I have about four new books coming out. I'm working on a sequel, another book with Yusuf Cat Stevens. I did a book called Peace Train with him, and he has another song called If You Want to Sing Out, which is a lovely song. I also have another book with Scholastic called Letters to My Future Self, and it's a character who writes a letter and folds it up into a paper airplane and sends it off to his future self. And he waits and waits and waits, and he gets a letter back. And I can't say what what happens, but I'm super excited about that one too. Always something new happening in my studio up here in Boston, Massachusetts, right around the corner from my very own bookstore. Yeah, I have my own bookstore called the Blue Bunny in Dedham, Massachusetts. So if you are in the neighborhood, stop by. We have a coffee shop too. So I make a
Definitely.
very good cappuccino.
Okay, okay, sounds good. You're taking me all the way back to 1971 when you mentioned Cat Stevens. So imagine me with a huge fro. If people would even know what I'm talking about, a dashiki, and running around
Sure.
here with flip-flops, listening to Cat Stevens. Yeah, that was great.
He's still going strong, and he is doing great work. He has the Peace Train Foundation bringing resources to communities in areas of conflict. So he's been a busy guy lately, and so I feel very blessed that I can call him a friend. I collaborated. I did the album cover for his new album called King of Land, um, and three animated films that you can see on YouTube if you look for Yusuf Cat Stevens, King of a Land. There are three lovely animated films that will inspire you. I like working with positive people who are trying to change the world, and I appreciate you helping share the news about When You Dream Big, because you're using your platform to put out positive messages to the world. And right now, especially, we really, really need that. So we all have to kind of work together as one big village to make this world a better place. And we need
That's a,
creativity to do that, because I
right.
I don't know
That's a
how else we're going to move forward.
that's an understatement, but that's another story. Peter, thank you so much
It
for
is.
joining
That's another
us.
show.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right.